Rimuru and Iruma's Adventures in the Netherworld by MU1622, found on Wattpad, fanfiction.net, and Archive of Our Own. Chapter 15, Execution Cannonball / The Duel. Iruma point of view. The two of us meet halfway with Az and Clara to go to our exam. We all enter the underground gym and find that the rest of the class has already arrived, along with Professor Caligo. Some of my classmates are excited, while others just want to get the match over with. Professor Caligo stops the chatter from the students with one stern word. "Silence!" he yells out. "Let's go over the rules." To summarize, the rules are exactly the same as normal dodgeball with one additional one. Any magic can only be used on the ball. Using magic aimed directly at other students is forbidden. This is a relief. Your ranks will be determined by which team wins and the ranks of the opponents you hit. I will now hand out armbands for teams A and B. Team A is yellow and team B is red. Once you receive yours, take your place on the court. Team A: Clara, Iruma, Elisabetta, Jazz, Sabnock, Agares, Rimuru. Team B: Asmodeus, Alakar, Lead, Goemon, Carolee, Kamui, Person. I immediately realized that Az and myself have been put on separate teams, which he's not happy about at all. Hey, why are we divided up like this? Having Master Iruma and me on separate teams when we're friends is inconceivable. You were split up to even out the power balance. No more objections. Line up. Professor Caligo responds coldly, sounding fed up with Az's attitude. But... Az grits his teeth in irritation. Yay, I'm with Irumachi! Clara chirps with excitement, skipping cheerfully to her spot. I also make my way to mine, waving at Az as we separate. Let's both do our best. I give Az some encouraging words. Yes, you can count on me, Az responds, giving me a thumbs up. What does he mean by that? Before I can question Az's words too much, I'm interrupted by the professor. Now, commence execution cannonball, Professor Caligo commands, signaling the start of the match. I activate strength and body once I hear this. Despite the match having already started, Az appears to be lost in thought. He's not giving his surroundings any attention as far as I can tell. Team B starts with the ball, with Lead currently holding it. Everyone except for Az and Carolee is huddled together, whispering about something. What's the matter? Hurry up and throw, Sabnock says impatiently. Team B nods at each other, seeming to decide on what to do before Jazz deftly steals the ball out of Lead's hand. I didn't even notice him approach the other students, and I've been nervously watching them the entire time. When did you... Lead splutters, shocked that the ball all but instantly disappeared out of his hand. Jazz then hands the ball to Sabnock, causing him to grin confidently. Which one of you suicidal fools is ready to accept my ball? Sabnock asks in an overconfident tone. The members of Team B recoil a bit when they hear his aggressive words. Carolee immediately conjures up a wall of ice to shield herself from the potential incoming attack. Sabnock's evil grin widens when he sees her attempt at defense. He appears to take it as a challenge, since he immediately hurls the ball at the girl, showing no mercy. The ice ball shatters on impact, and Carolee shields her face from the flying shards. She ends up getting hit by the ball, but isn't hurt since her ice slowed it down significantly. Before the ball hits the floor, though, Kamui intervened. This ball just hit a girl! He dives fervently as he dives for the ball, barely catching it before it hits the ground. The rest of the team is excited, since it means Carolee is still in the game. Right after impressing his teammates, Kamui does the unthinkable. He crosses over the middle line and hands the ball to Elisabetta, a member of the opposing team. Why are you giving the enemy the ball? Goemon asks with exasperation. Kamui, you crossed to the enemy's side, so you're out, the professor states coldly. Lead calls a timeout. He, Alakar, and Goemon proceed to beat the crap out of Kamui for screwing them over like that to impress a girl. I think I heard the words, "I'm gonna fry you up and eat you," said during the scuffle. That's pretty messed up, considering that Kamui looks like a bird. Resume the game at once, or you're disqualified, Professor Caligo orders. Rimuru hasn't really done much throughout the match, mostly just dodging and catching the ball before handing it to other teammates. I'm not surprised that ranks don't really mean much to a demon lord like her. Being here in the Netherworld is just a hobby in her eyes. After a few minutes of the teams trading the ball back and forth, I end up with it in my hands. The increased speed from the skill helped dodge multiple attacks from the enemy, but I've only caught the ball this one time. Rimuru gives me an expectant look.
This is what you've been training for, Iruma. All you have to do is throw the ball and hit someone with it. It isn't that hard.
Despite my internal pep talk, I'm frozen in place with anxiety. Everyone's eyes are on me, waiting for my next move. Starting to feel the pressure, my head starts to fill with thoughts of self-doubt.
How do I throw it? When do I throw it? What will happen if I screw this up? My teammates will be mad at me, right? Should I just pass the ball to another team member?
Before I can even attempt to throw the ball, Sabnock comes up behind me and snatches it from me, causing Rimuru to scowl at him, but he doesn't even notice. He's too caught up in his excitement. "Well done catching, my rival. Leave the attacking to me," he says as his eyes lock on to Az. Az isn't paying the match any mind, still thinking about something. His lack of attention seems to anger Sabnock, who checks the ball at a high speed at Az's head. Az stops the ball with similar ease to when Rimuru caught the ball I libered at her. He then glares coldly at Sabnock. "Do not interrupt my concentration!" he screams. "Now he's done it," Rimuru says with a big grin. Az then effortlessly takes Sabnock out with the ball. Sabnock runs off the court, looking very upset by his easy defeat. After seeing this, the rest of my teammates agree not to throw the ball at Az since he's so strong. The match continues steadily over the next few minutes before I realize that it's just me and Rimuru left in our side of the court, and only Az on the other.
Oh no, Az is so strong, plus he's my friend.
I watch Rimuru pick up the ball laying on the ground nearby. She stands there momentarily before a devilish grin spreads across her face.
Oh, thank goodness. Rimuru's gonna finish off Az for me. There's no way I can take him out.
Just as I'm about to sigh with relief, my hopes are dashed. Rimuru turns in my direction, still smiling evilly, before handing the ball to me. "Why are you—" "This is your time to shine, not mine. Make it count," she says, before proceeding to step across the middle line of the court. Rimuru looks very amused by the predicament she just put me in as she walks confidently off the court. "Rimuru has entered the enemy's side of the court. She is out," Professor Caligo announces. I stand there for a moment, completely dumbfounded. The only two people left in the game are me and Az.
What am I gonna do? There's no way I can beat Az. He's much too strong. But wait, Rimuru believes in me, otherwise she wouldn't have handed me the ball. I can't let her down. I can't let myself down. What have I been training for if I falter at the most critical moment? Was it all a waste? No, I won't let it go to waste. I need to do this.
Az point of view.
When did this happen? I was so lost in thought that I didn't even notice. There's no way I can attack Master Iruma. Wait, there are only us two left, so all I have to do is give him the ball and let him hit me.
I look up, about to go with my solution to the predicament I find myself in when I notice the look on Master's face. Pure determination. He has steeled himself to win this match.
Let him hit me? Lose on purpose? How could I be so foolish? I've watched how hard he has worked, yet I can only think about myself. I should be considerate of what he is thinking. You should be ashamed, Asmodeus.
Iruma, point of view. Az's face twists with anger, a pure, burning fury to match the flames he's now engulfed in. He's angry, just like during our fight after the entrance ceremony.
What the heck set him off? He seems legitimately furious.
I begin to sweat nervously as I stare at Az's silhouette, currently covered in his fire, but I don't give in to my fear. "I'm a demon that values etiquette. I am Alice Asmodeus," he declares as he lets his coat fall to the floor, revealing the vest underneath. "And I will give this everything I have," he declares threateningly, lit up by the flames behind him. "You can do this, Iruma! I believe in you!" Rimuru yells from the sidelines. The other students join in on her cheering, directed at their respective teams. Az and I stare at each other for a few moments, trying to gauge the other's next move.
He's completely different from before. I can tell he's serious. No, his malice is even more intense than that.
I look down at the ball in my hands, determined to make a throw and win. I can't let everyone down. Sullivan, Opera, Amari, and Rimuru, all of them are rooting for me, and I need to live up to their expectations. No, I need to live up to my expectations. This is for me, my goal. I throw the ball with as much strength as I can, enhanced by Rimuru's skill. The ball flies through the air directly at the intended target.
I did it!
The ball moved just like I wanted it to. With my terrible aim, I usually don't end up hitting my mark like this. Unfortunately, my celebration was premature. Despite my accuracy and the high speed the projectile was heading at, Az managed to catch it.
No! I was so close!
I feel disappointed by my failure, but I don't lose hope. Az glares at me menacingly, now holding the ball. It has become engulfed in flames, just like him. My eyes widen as he raises one arm, preparing to throw the ball back at me.
I'm scared. My instincts are telling me to run, but I can't give up.
Rimuru's words echo in my head.
This is your time to shine, not mine. Make it count. I have another chance to prove myself, but how can I pull this off? Wait, the skill. It made me feel fearless the other day. All I need to do is turn it to the next setting and let that feeling carry me.
I set the ring to extra mode and notice the warm waves of energy that have been pulsing throughout my body increase in intensity. Excitement wells up in my chest. I feel like I can do anything. The ball is thrown, still swallowed by Az's flame, which is trailing behind like a comet. For once, I sprint towards the danger instead of away from it, fully prepared to deal with the danger involved. The combination of my determination and the confidence-increasing side effect of using the skill pushes me forward.
Are you serious? You'll die!
I hear a voice call out, but I don't acknowledge it. All I'm focused on is winning.
I must win and prove to myself and everyone that I can do this.
I catch the ball in my cupped hands and am immediately assaulted by the force behind the throw. The flaming ball is spinning rapidly, pushing me back. My feet skid across the floor, leaving 2 long gashes in the dirt as I'm almost pushed out of the court by Az's attack. My hands are burning from the flames, causing intense pain as I clutch the ball, trying to contain its momentum.
I can't stop it. Az is too powerful.
I scramble to find a way to resolve this problem and find one. I decide to use the ball's energy to whip it back at Az. I jump, turning 360 degrees mid-air, and redirect the ball's momentum in the process. I feel the energy surrounding the ball grow with each pulse of magic running through my body. The flames mysteriously increase in intensity, also upping the force the ball is exerting. An intense heat engulfs me as the fire trailing behind the ball cocoons around me. Right before the ball leaves my hand, I shout, "Libera!" I need this ball to be uncatchable this time, so I put my all into this throw. A blue dragon from before bursts out of my right hand, exerting much more force compared to the last time I used the spell. It looks the same, although larger, but only for a moment. It somehow absorbs the flame from Az's magic that were encompassing the projectile. Currently streaking across the court, much to everyone's amazement, is a stunningly beautiful dragon made of 2-tone flames, a mix of light blue and red. As soon as I cast the spell, my body screams in pain, especially in my throwing arm, but I manage to stay standing. My eyes go wide as the ball comes shooting toward him at a much greater speed than my last throw. Az, being momentarily astonished by the spectacle in front of him, gets hit dead on by my throw. The force knocks him down, sending him sliding across the floor on his back. As my vision starts to blur from pain, I can barely make out Az sitting up, looking shaken and disheveled. Are you okay, Az? I ask, barely staying on my feet.
Yes, I'm unharmed,
Az says, still looking shell-shocked. After verifying that I didn't hurt Az badly, I deactivate the skill. My body is overwhelmed with the fatigue, and my head is spinning. Good. I barely let out a response before I feel the sensation of falling as my vision goes black. Rimuru point of view. I silently watch the standoff between Az and Iruma.
Well, this should be interesting.
Compared to the other students of the Misfit class, excluding myself, Az is much stronger. He doesn't look very happy for some reason either. He's all worked up like before, surrounded by flames and glaring menacingly. Iruma's inevitably scared in this situation, but I know he can handle it. Az would never kill him. He cares about Iruma too much. These reasons are exactly why I decided to turn this into a match between the two of them. Iruma showed persistence and determination during training, but I could tell he was losing that edge throughout the match. I know full well that raising his rank is a dangerous goal, one he has to be fully invested in. This is a test of his willpower and an opportunity to gain some confidence. You can do this, Iruma! I believe in you! I give the boy some encouragement, since he looks like he needs it. Iruma attempts to throw at Az using just the strength and body skill. He manages to aim properly, which is a feat in itself when it comes to Iruma. Unfortunately, it's too slow, and Az catches it relatively easily. Iruma's face changes from looking pleased to terrified in an instant. His eyes go wide as Az prepares to hurl the now flaming ball at him. I watch as he grabs his ring and turns it up a notch. I can see the energy flowing through his body increase dramatically. The fear on his face turns into excitement, and he begins running straight at Az.
What is he doing? Did he let himself get overwhelmed by the energy again?
I prepare to use barrier to protect him if needed, but it doesn't end up being necessary. Iruma catches the ball, struggling with it as it sends him skidding backwards. By his expression, I can tell it's painful to hold the flaming ball. I watch with amazement as he jumps high and turns midair to redirect the ball at his opponent. The trail of flames left behind by the ball swirl around him and grow in size.
Holy shit! I think he's adding energy to Az's spell. How the hell is he doing that? I didn't teach him magic manipulation.
The boy appears to have figured out how to manipulate the flow of magic on his own. This should not be possible for a normal human.
For a normal human, huh? What do you mean by that?
I am suggesting that the boy may not be 100% human. Further analysis is needed to determine a result.
Well, now's not the time to worry about that. We'll have to look into that later.
Libera! Iruma shouts as the magically enhanced ball leaves his right hand. The combination of the two different forms of demon magic coalesces, forming into a two-colored fire dragon, and launches the ball at incredible speed. Az stands no chance. Before he can even react, he's hit by the double-enhanced Libera, knocking him flat on the back, skidding along the floor. Are you okay, Az? Iruma asks, faintly swaying back and forth on his feet. Yes, I'm unharmed, Az says, wearing a shocked expression. Good, Iruma says as he tips to one side, losing consciousness. Yup, he overdid it again. I catch him before he hits the ground. I'm pleased that he managed to win, but the consequences are severe. At least without my healing, they would be. Tch! Why did you do that to yourself, kid? I whisper, scolding the unconscious boy in my arms, knowing full well that he can't hear me. I heal him internally to keep my magic as discreet as possible so that none of the other students watching notice. Iruma is in the worst shape I've ever seen him. He's not only hurt internally from the force of catching Az's ball, but he's covered in burns too. The palms of his hands are burned the worst of all since they made direct contact. It's crazy seeing how hurt he got since he was using strength and body. I don't even want to consider what might have happened if he wasn't. I probably would have needed to interfere with the exam in that case. What? Rimuru? What happened? Iruma mumbles groggily as his eyes flutter open. You overexerted yourself and collapsed in front of the whole class, dumbass. How many times during training did I tell you to be careful? I scold him in a not-so-serious tone. Sorry, he replies softly. Az gets up off the floor on the other side of the court and rushes over, looking worried. Are you all right, Master Iruma? That was a splendid spell you pulled off a moment ago. I gave my best in that match, but I still lost royally to you. I truly don't stand a chance against you, Master. Despite admitting defeat, Az looks incredibly pleased with the outcome. Then Calico strolls over to us, looking displeased. Can you stand? He asks Iruma bluntly. His demeanor is stern and unfriendly, but I sense a hint of concern in his voice. I think so, Professor. I help the boy onto his feet, and he turns to Calico, wondering what he might want. Calico comes within arm's reach and grabs Iruma's collar gently. If Asmodeus had let you win, I wasn't going to allow you to raise your rank, ever. But both of you truly gave it your best effort. Therefore, Iruma, I approve your promotion to Bet, rank 2, he says as he affixes a new pin to Iruma's uniform. Nice job, Iruma, you did it, I say, grinning at him. I'm pleased that he did so well, but I still wish that he would be a little more cautious. Iruma, point of view. After Professor Calico finishes putting the pin on my collar, Amari steps forward. She must have been watching the match without me noticing. She gives Rimuru a side-eyed look, which was returned with a smile on Rimuru's part, before focusing on me. Congratulations, Iruma! I was watching your performance. You were excellent. Omri says, smiling at me. I've never worked so hard for my own sake before, but now I know. This is what working hard and seeing results from it feels like. I respond. I feel great right now, if I ignore the fatigue at least. I can't help but be excited by what I pulled off in the exam. It is, Iruma, that warm feeling you get after using your strong will to overcome challenges and obstacles. That is truly ambition, she declares. Ambition? Yes, your passion towards your ambition, our fighting spirit to see it through, Omri says, her voice full of passion. Is this warm, fuzzy feeling really ambition? Anyway, you managed to take a step forward. Well done, Iruma, Omri says, smiling warmly. I can't help but smile back. Az uses a first aid kit to cover all the burns caused by the magic. He's crying tears of regret since he is partially responsible for my injuries. Rimuru and Omri have a conversation about something as he does this. I strain to hear what it is they're talking about, but I can't make out a single word. Once Az finishes up, I head home with Rimuru. She doesn't talk to me on the way, looking like she's preoccupied with something. Once we arrive at the mansion, we are greeted at the door. So, how did your exams go? Grandpa says excitedly. I ranked up! I'm a bet now! I say, pointing at the new badge pinned to my uniform's collar. And you, Rimuru? Grandpa says. I did fine, but I didn't rank up, Rimuru responds flatly. Well, that's a shame. Yeah, I guess. It doesn't matter to me at all, though, Rimuru says with a shrug of her shoulders. What happened? You are covered in bandages, Opera asks. Oh, fire magic from Az. He felt really bad, though, and did first aid on me. Don't get mad at him, please, I respond apprehensively, since I don't want anyone to hold something against my friend. He didn't mean to injure me this badly. It was just a consequence of the exam. Oh yeah, I didn't fully heal you, did I? Why didn't you remind me sooner? Come here, Rimuru says as she roughly grabs me by my wrists. Just like when she healed me before, a soft green glow envelops the injured areas. She then removes the bandages, revealing perfectly healthy skin. Thanks, Rimuru. That feels much better. Yeah, no prob. I only healed you on the inside earlier, so nobody else would notice. Sorry you had to suffer like that. I may not feel pain anymore, but I remember what it feels like. Being seared like a steak in multiple places can't feel very good. Yeah, it definitely hurt. Thanks again. We eat a larger-than-usual dinner to celebrate the end of the exam. Once we're done stuffing ourselves, Diablo makes a suggestion. Lord Rimuru, would you like to participate in some recreation? I can show you the fighting game I have taken a liking to, Diablo asks. Yeah, that would make a good distraction. Sure. All of us play the video game in turns, since only two can play at once. Everyone except Grandpa is pretty much unbeatable for me. Rimuru, Diablo, and Opera are super competitive. Their fingers move so fast while playing that they are just a blur in my eyes. I still have fun, but tap out after a few matches. The magic I used during the exam took a lot out of me, even with Rimuru's healing, so I turn in for bed a bit early. The next day. Rimuru point of view. It's right after school got out, and Iruma's busy visiting with Omri, reading manga to her, so I'm walking aimlessly through the hallway, looking for something to do while I wait for him. There are plenty of students still hanging around, doing various things, so it doesn't look weird for me to still be here. The individual Veldora Tempest has... Hey Rimuru, what's up? I'm startled by a familiar voice. Two muscular arms bear hug me from behind, lifting me off the ground. It's Veldora, my brother. He's the youngest of the first 4 true dragons back home. I'm technically considered one of them at this point, making them 5 and me the youngest. But the way I became one is a bit iffy, so I'm the oddball of the group. Veldora is also my namer and first friend after I reincarnated, so we're pretty close. Veldora? What are you doing here? I whisper at him angrily, trying in vain not to make a big scene. He thankfully lets go of me pretty quickly. This isn't the first time Veldora has popped up out of nowhere with absolutely no warning. I wish he would just check with me first before using our connection to appear near me like this. Do I need a reason to visit my sworn brother? I missed you, Rimuru. Why are you dressed like that, though? He asks, pointing at my school uniform. I immediately feel embarrassed, since I didn't want anyone else from Tempest seeing me in stuff like this. It's bad enough being pressured into girls' clothing when I'm back home, but getting caught confidently walking around in a schoolgirl's outfit of my own volition is even worse, especially by someone like Veldora. Shh! Multiple passers-by had noticed Veldora, which isn't surprising since he's not only huge but very loud. Praying that nobody picked up on him calling me brother, I cover Veldora's mouth and shove him into a nearby janitor's closet. From inside, I can hear the whispers of the students who are walking by. Who is that with Rimuru? Was that her boyfriend? Looks like it. He's quite a catch. Much older than her, too. So buff and handsome. She's so bold. I wish my girlfriend would be that aggressive with me. I wonder what they're doing. I bet things are about to get steamy in there. Oh, jeez. The rumors are already starting. I wish I could make them forget, but modifying their memories for something so petty would be wrong. Now absolutely mortified, I snap at Veldora. Can't you see that I'm busy? This is a disguise. I'm undercover right now. Seriously, what brought you here? Veldora grins, finding my shock and embarrassment amusing. I wanted to see what you were up to. You haven't spent any time with me recently, and I already read through all the manga you left me. I'm bored. Hey, looking at you a bit closer, you're dressed like a schoolgirl, aren't you? I knew I recognized that type of uniform from reading the sacred texts, Veldora says excitedly, pleased to see me cosplaying something out of the manga he's read. Yes, that's what this outfit is, since this is a school that I'm pretending to be a student at. Did you seriously come all the way here just for manga? I ask, getting sick of waiting for him to get to the point. Yeah, just for manga. Veldora laughs uncomfortably. By the way, you look surprisingly good in that outfit. You should dress like that more often. If you did, I'm sure the Tempestians would be thrilled. I bet the other demon lords would get a kick out of it, too. Veldora says teasingly. You do look amazing, Master. I'm sure others back home would...
Stop! I don't want to hear anymore.
Don't try to change the subject. I know that's not your main reason for being here. Does this have to do with one of your sisters? Did you piss one of them off again? I ask, speculating about his reason for showing up for no reason. No, of course not. Why would I ever do something like that? Veldora says, in an exaggeratedly innocent tone that I can see right through as fake. I say, folding my arms and raising an eyebrow at Veldora, but his eyes are darting around uncomfortably. I can tell he isn't being truthful. Probability that Veldora fled from one of his sisters is 92%. Thanks, Ciel, but I already figured as much. Well, I guess the details don't matter much. If I give you some new manga, will you leave? I ask flatly. You're being so cold, Rimuru, Veldora whines. As I already said, I'm a bit busy right now. Fine, I understand. But before I leave, I heard from Diablo that you found an interesting human. Can I meet him at least? So this is Diablo's fault, huh? Master, you did instruct Diablo to give regular updates to Tempest. Diablo has just been doing what he was told. Yeah, you're right. Just didn't expect it to lead to Veldora getting curious and popping up like this. I should have, though, knowing how he is. Veldora wants manga and to meet Iruma. Iruma's currently reading manga to Amari. I think I have a solution to get Veldora off my back for a little while. Yes, the solution is quite clear, Master. Now having hatched a plan, I smile at Veldora. Yeah, you can meet him, along with someone else. I think you'll get along with her. She shares an interest with you. Follow me, but keep quiet. You already draw enough attention without opening your big mouth. I also have to check and see if it's okay for you to participate or not. Participate? You'll see. Echo point of view. I watch as Rimuru shoves an extremely muscular and handsome man into a closet before joining him in there.
Who is he? He looks much older than Rimuru, but he's definitely a hottie.
I'm filled with feelings of excitement and jealousy as I imagine what kind of romantic shenanigans are going on in that closet, but I stop myself from getting any closer. Rimuru is extremely observant, so she would probably notice if I tried to sneak a peek.
I want to know what they're doing in there so bad.
After a few minutes of getting lost in my imagination, I see the door to the closet open. The two exit the closet with Rimuru leading, pulling the man behind her by his hand. Rimuru is smiling, and the man looks confused, but not unhappy. They seem to be in a hurry to go wherever they are going. I can't help but feel even more jealous as the couple runs off to do who knows what together. Iruma point of view. Still walking with Amari, heading to the room I read First Love Memories to her in, I get a message from Rimuru.
Hey, Iruma, I have a friend with me from back home that's suddenly visiting. I want him to join in on your manga session with Amari today. Let her know, please. Thanks, see you in a minute. This isn't good. There's no way Amari will agree to that.
I steel myself to ask Amari if it's okay, but I think I already know what her answer will be. Unfortunately, Rimuru didn't phrase that as a question, but as a heads up, which means she's going to do what she wants even if Amari doesn't like it. When Rimuru decides to do something, there's no stopping her. Hey, Amari? Rimuru has a friend visiting that wants to join us today. Is that okay? I ask hesitantly, since I know she won't like the idea of someone intruding.
Absolutely not. Our meetings are secret. Nobody else can find out about them.
She objects, shutting my idea down immediately.
But this is Rimuru's friend. I'm sure they will. No, I cannot allow that.
Amari insists.
Okay.
I give up on convincing her. After a few silent minutes of walking, we arrive at the door to the room. Before we can enter, though, I hear someone yell, "Hey!" Rimuru calls out and waves to me as she appears from behind a nearby corner. She's followed by a hulking figure of a man. He gives me a similar impression to Sabnock. He's tanned, buff, and has wildly styled blonde hair. He remotely resembles Rimuru if you look at his face close enough. "So this is the child I heard about. Nice to meet you, small one," the man says in a booming voice and hands a large hand out for me to shake.
Nice to meet you, sir. My name's Iruma,"
I say as I shake the man's hand, his completely engulfing my own.
"Iruma, eh? What an interesting name. Let me share mine with you. I am Veldora Tempest, the mighty storm."
Smack! Stop! Don't reveal what you are, dunce!
Rimuru chides after smacking the man on the back of the head. I didn't even see her reel back before swinging her hand at him, so she must have moved extremely fast. The noise the blow makes is loud, so I know Rimuru used a lot of force, but the man doesn't seem fazed much by the extreme hit. He's rubbing the back of his head, showing that it hurts a little, but from what I can tell from Rimuru's past hits, anyone else would have been at least sent flying by it. This man isn't a normal person.
"You must be extremely strong, just like Rimuru."
"But you can just call me Veldora," the man says, much quieter than before, pouting from Rimuru's scolding and still rubbing where Rimuru hit him. Despite their difference in size, it's clear who's in charge out of the two of them. "We should probably continue this conversation inside. We don't want any eavesdroppers," Rimuru mentions. The four of us then head inside the room. "So, this is the friend of yours Iruma mentioned. I cannot have someone else join us. The forbidden texts must be kept a secret," Amari finally interjects.
"Forbidden texts?" Veldora asks curiously.
"Manga, Veldora. She means manga," Rimuru says flatly.
"Oh, sacred texts! You found someone else who is a lover of those precious tomes?" Veldora asks, sounding very excited.
"Yes, this is Amari. She reads manga with Iruma regularly. I thought you might enjoy joining them today," Rimuru introduces Amari.
"I cannot allow that," Amari objects.
Rimuru steps closer to Amari, unfazed by her adamant refusal. She's wearing a conniving grin, so I know she has some kind of plan to persuade Amari. "If you babysit Veldora for me today, I'll give you some more manga to read. It's even translated into the demon language, so you can read it all by yourself."
"What do you say?"
Rimuru offers in a playful tone, but there is an underlying pressure behind her words.
"Don't call it babysitting, Rimuru,"
Veldora whines quietly, but she pays no mind to his complaint. Rimuru's focus is completely on Amari at the moment. Amari's eyes light up briefly at the idea of getting more manga, but she goes back to her serious expression just as quickly. "So you are proposing a trade?" she asks, showing some interest in Rimuru's proposal. "Yes, exactly. I can guarantee that Veldora here won't reveal your secrets, too. Do we have a deal, then?" Rimuru asks, still grinning and staring Amari right in the eyes, despite their large height difference. The two girls have a brief staring contest as Amari considers the deal. Veldora and I are just standing in the silent room, feeling awkward. He's fidgeting uncomfortably, and I don't blame him. I can feel the pressure coming from Rimuru as she stares Amari down. There isn't anything outwardly frightening about her right now, but the vibe coming from her is intense.
When Rimuru wants something, she can sure be scary.
Amari seems torn, but eventually comes to a decision. "I can allow him to join us this one time," she says, somewhat hesitantly, but maintains her confident demeanor. "Wonderful!
Rimuru exclaims, clapping her hands together. She pulls out a stack of manga volumes from somewhere and hands them to Amari with a grin. Oh, and if he causes you any trouble, just get stern with him. He's a big softy, so you shouldn't have any problems handling him, being as assertive as you are, Rimuru says quietly, winking at Amari. Amari doesn't look exactly pleased, but nods with acknowledgement while clutching the stack of books, holding them close to her chest as if to protect them. Veldora, listen to her and do what she says. I can't have you causing trouble after I promised you wouldn't. I'll have your dessert privileges revoked if you act up, Rimuru warns Veldora, talking to him as if he was a child. No, not the desserts, Veldora whimpers. Yes, the desserts. If you're good, I'll give you some new manga to take home with you too. So be on your best behavior, she commands firmly. Wah-ha-ha-ha! You can count me in, Rimuru, Veldora says confidently, striking a pose. Rimuru rolls her eyes at him, likely annoyed by his boisterousness, before leaving with a wave. I can't believe I gave in to her bribery, Amari mumbles, scowling. It's okay, Amari. When Rimuru decides to do something, there's no stopping her. You got something you wanted out of it too, right? So it's not all bad. I comfort her. You can say that again. Rimuru is the most ridiculous person I've ever met. Once he's decided to make something a reality, it'll happen. There's no doubt about it. I've seen it with my own eyes many, many times. The impossible becomes possible just because Rimuru wants it to. That's just how Rimuru rolls. Did you say he? Amari questions, her face a combination of confusion and disgust.
Oh no, he screwed up. If Rimuru finds out, she's gonna kill him.
Did I? I'm pretty sure I said she, Veldora says, starting to sweat nervously. Amari doesn't look convinced by Veldora's little retcon, but doesn't push any further. We should get started before it gets too late, Iruma. I don't mind if you read the first volume again, for the sake of our guest. I wouldn't want him to be lost starting part way into the story, Amari says. I'm surprised she's being so considerate since she was so reluctant to have Veldora join us. But Amari's a nice person, though, so it isn't too unbelievable. Amari hands me the first volume of First Love Memories, and I begin reading it out loud. So you read it to her instead of her reading it herself? That's strange, Veldora says. I cannot read the language of the forbidden texts while Iruma can. That is why we originally made this arrangement, Amari explains. Oh? I'm surprised Rimuru hasn't offered to make you a translated version. That's where volumes you were given came from, Veldora says offhandedly. Rimuru can do that? Amari says, looking irritated. I didn't know she could do that either, so I'm surprised too. Yeah, I'm sure Rimuru has her reasons for not doing it, though. Amari is now in a visibly worse mood, but doesn't say anything more about it. I continue reading despite the tension in the room building. The rest of the session goes without any issue, the tension gradually subsiding as I make my way through the volume. Veldora and Amari thoroughly enjoy the manga, both enthralled by my words. By the time I finish, Amari is in a much better mood and seems to be befriending Veldora. So, how do you like it? She asks excitedly. It was very interesting. I can't wait to read the next volume. Can I join you again next time? Veldora asks. We are further ahead in the series, so you would have to catch up first, but I can't have you borrowing the volumes. They are like family heirlooms and have to be kept secret. That's okay. Rimuru can copy books just by touching them. I'm sure she can make copies for me to read. I wouldn't be surprised if she already analyzed them. Rimuru's always on the lookout for new materials, since they use new manga as bargaining chips quite often, at least with me. Ha! They have been locked away. Rimuru has not had access to them, so I doubt that. As I said, as soon as Rimuru decides to do something, there's no stopping them. Rimuru has methods that you probably don't know about. Veldora brags like it's his doing. Amari frowns slightly when she hears this. I guess I might let you join in again, but we are on volume 18 already, so you would have to catch up quickly if you are going to join us tomorrow. Of course, I will be ready by then. I won't be sticking around here too long, so don't worry about me butting into your private time with that boy forever, Veldora says, pointing at me. His mischievous grin reminds me of Rimuru's. Amari blushes at the words private time for some reason. Maybe she's embarrassed? I can't see why, though. We aren't doing anything weird together. Yes, I understand that you are just visiting. I will see you tomorrow then. Same time, same place. Don't be late, Omri says, finishing off sternly. Veldora gives a double thumbs up to Omri before leaving the room. I follow him out, waving goodbye to Omri. So, who are you exactly? I already know who Rimuru really is, so you don't have to hide anything from me, I ask quietly, not wanting anyone else to hear. Yeah, Rimuru told me, but I have to keep my mouth shut around others or I'll get punished. I'll talk to you more later, but I can tell you a little right now. My name is Veldora Tempest. I am known as the Great Storm Dragon. I am also Rimuru's brother, though not by blood. Kinda. You're a dragon? You look like a normal guy to me. Yeah, this humanoid form was a gift from Rimuru. I can go into dragon form anytime I want, but if I do that here, I'm sure Rimuru would be furious, and we don't want that. That's for sure. Veldora whispers, chuckling awkwardly. Oh, hey, there's Rimuru. Did you have fun? You didn't cause any trouble, did you? She asks Veldora. Ha ha ha! Have more confidence in me, Rimuru. Of course I behaved myself, he responds boisterously. Iruma, he did, right? No trouble? Rimuru asks me. Other than him slipping up and calling you he once, he was fine, I said sheepishly. Veldora gives me a sad look when I reveal his mistake, but I had no choice. Rimuru can tell when I lie. Rimuru's eyes twitch when she hears that he semi-blew her cover. I guess it isn't a big deal. Just be more careful about what you say while you're here. I know. I'm sorry. It was just a teensy mistake. Well, let's head home. I'll have to introduce you to Sullivan and make sure it's okay for you to stay here for a while. Come on, you two. Rimuru, point of view. On the way out, we run into one of the other members of the Misfit class, Sabnock Sabro. Hello, my rivals. Who is this you have with you today? I am Veldora. Nice to meet you, boy. Oh ho ho. You see me as nothing but a boy. I should prove my strength to you. How about a duel? Oh no. A challenger? How fun! It's been a long time since someone challenged me. I accept your challenge, child. This is very bad. Not so fast, Veldora. You'll kill him if you two spar. But Rimuru, no means no. Sorry, Sabnock. This guy's completely out of your league. You can't fight him. So he's a coward who's afraid of losing then? How disappointing. Sabnock sneers tauntingly. Coward? I am no coward, Veldora yells. Calm down, Veldora. Sabnock, he isn't a coward. He just doesn't know how to hold back when he fights. May I face you, then? Only if you apologize to Veldora. He's pretty upset by what you just said. I accept. Sorry for the insult. I am just eager to fight with someone worthy, and you seem to fit the bill, sir. So that was just a taunt, then? You're lucky Rimuru intervened. I lost my temper and was going to wipe you from existence a moment ago. Great. Now I have to fight Sabnock without hurting him badly. You can manage that easily, Master. It is just a minor annoyance. It won't be much fun, that's for sure. I can limit your physical abilities further, making the duel less one-sided if you would like. In an emergency, I can revert them instantly, so it won't be dangerous for you. Sure, let's do that. I guess it can be a learning opportunity for the boy, too, since he's way too cocky. It wouldn't hurt for someone to put him in his place. I better get permission from Sullivan first. I'm sure Sabnock is going to get hurt, even if I hold back that much. I text Sullivan. Hey, a student is challenging me to a duel. This was their idea, not mine. I'll hold back a lot, and if they get hurt, I'll fully heal them. I know I agreed not to hurt any students, but are you okay with this? Sullivan responds with, as long as they are unharmed in the end, that's fine. Have fun. All right, I got permission. Let's go somewhere more suitable. How about over there? I ask, pointing out to a large plateau-like platform out in the middle of a rocky area. It's nearby to where we had the flying test. Yes, that will work. What are the conditions? Sabnock asks. I know you can conjure up weapons with your bloodline ability, so do you want to fight armed? Yes, only weapons, no magic. So, to summarize the rules, 1. Weapons are allowed, but no throwing them. 2. No magic, outside of Sabnock's weapon creation bloodline ability. 3. No flying. 4. Not a deathmatch, so no fatal blows are allowed. 5. The match ends when one admits defeat or is incapacitated. Are you sure this is a good idea, Rimuru? Yeah, I know how to hold back, unlike somebody. Hey, I can hold back too. Okay, don't hurt him too badly. I won't. I already made a promise about that. I deactivate my barrier completely for the first time in ages and have CL decrease my movements and strength significantly. I want this to be a test of skill at swordsmanship, not overall ability. I look down at myself and frown. No matter how much you see it in anime, there's no way I'm fighting in a short skirt, let alone a girls' school uniform. They just aren't suitable for combat. I don't think this outfit is right for a duel. Give me a moment. Sabnock looks confused for a moment, but turns around, not wanting to see a girl change her clothes, I guess. Iruma turns around too. Veldora gets a kick out of the two teens' reactions, since he knows that they wouldn't see anything, even if they were watching. My clothing morphs into a copy of one of my old outfits that I haven't used in a while. Blue sleeveless shirt and loose white pants with matching blue details. I trained with Hakuro in a lot of these outfits, since it's suitable for martial arts. It allows me to move around easily, not interfering with my range of motion at all. I pull my sword out of storage, my favorite katana. As I pull it from its sheath and it comes into contact with my aura, its pitch black color melts away to reveal its true color. The blade shines in the light of the setting sun. The katana's metal, resembling gold, glistens with all the colors of the rainbow. Normally, I would hide its true appearance, but Sabnock's already seen it once before when the guardian of Cutthroat Valley attacked him, and I rescued his stupid ass. Plus, the boy's too dumb to ever realize how special this thing truly is. I think I'll give him the first move to make it fairer. All right, I'm ready, Sabnock. The duel will start as soon as you move from the spot you're standing. Start whenever you are prepared. Sabnock grins confidently before biting down on one of the metal tab-like charms attached to a chain around his neck. A bronze broadsword materializes in the boy's hands, matching the metal in his mouth. This is, of course, Sabnock's bloodline ability. He can create weapons out of a material that he can bite down on, but it takes a considerable amount of his magic stores to make one. From what I could tell through analysis, they degrade much quicker than an average weapon, so they don't compare to one made normally. Sabnock charges at me, broadsword held by both hands over his head. He's wide open, not focusing at all in defense. He's a total amateur. I expected him to at least have some common sense when it comes to fighting. Once he reaches me, he swings down at my head, but I easily block it with my katana. The broadsword shatters on impact. What? Sabnock says, looking surprised that his weapon didn't survive his sloppy excuse for an attack. He bites down on his necklace again, and a large hammer materializes in his hands. He seems to favor large weapons. He swings it at me a couple times, but I dodge his attack with minimal movement. Parrying them isn't even necessary. Even though I weaken my abilities, he's obviously still no match for me. If he actually knew how to fight, this could have been fun, but since he's flailing around like an idiot, I can't help but be bored by this duel. Let's make this a bit more interesting. I'll fight you unarmed while you continue to use your weapon, I say as I sheath my sword and take an unarmed fighting stance. I really wanted to experience some swordplay for once, but I can't do that with this fool. Sabnock scowls at me, unhappy that I'm looking down on him. If you lose because of that decision, don't complain, Sabnock taunts as he swings at me again. I grab the middle of the handle and wrench it out of his hands before tossing it hard enough to send it past the cliffside surrounding the platform. Yeah, he's not getting that back. You should hold on to your weapons tighter, or you'll get disarmed like that, I say with little emotion in my voice. Tch. Sabnock grits his teeth in irritation and creates another sword with his ability. I decide it's about time for me to actually attack the boy. While he's mid-swing, I duck under it and make a clean blow to his flank with my foot as I pass by him. Sabnock whines in pain as my foot makes contact with his muscular body, but he remains standing. This shows how much I've limited my strength for the fight, because a blow like that would normally be fatal for someone like him. Focus more on defense, or that will happen again. Stop talking down to me. I'm the future Demon King. Not yet, you're not. He continues to haphazardly attack me, but I expertly dodge all his swings, landing a few weak punches and kicks on him when it's opportune. Sabnock's actions are becoming progressively more sloppy and impulsive as the duel goes on. Screw weapons! I will fight you with my fists! Sabnock howls as he tosses his weapon to the side. He runs at me wildly, completely clouded by frustration. He flails his arms, attempting to punch my face, but I deflect or dodge every blow. Why can't I hit you? He bellows, his voice filled with malice. You're sloppy and reckless. It's obvious to me that you have no real fighting experience. I get it. I used to be the same way. Whenever I fought, I would use my innate strength to win. But sometimes that isn't enough. Sometimes you need skill, too, and that takes time to build. I can relate a little to his predicament. He's clearly physically stronger than the average demon and was probably born like that. I'm similar, having been reborn into a body with incredible abilities. I relied on my skills for everything for a long time, but it has become clear to me over time that I can't do that forever. Since then, I've spent time practicing martial arts and swordplay to make up for that weakness. I'm still not great at them, but I've gotten a lot better with practice. I've always been the strongest, excluding my older brother. Every time I would duel with one of my classmates, I would win. You're the first person I've ever faced directly that I can't even land a single blow on. Let me teach you a lesson then, to help you improve your technique. Right here, right now. Yes, I want to learn, so I can become the Demon King one day. That's the spirit. We continue the duel, and I point every flaw and mistake he makes and ruthlessly hit him back as punishment. I essentially adopt the teaching style Hakuro used with me and his other disciples. It is cruel, yet effective. Teaching is a hell of a lot more entertaining than a simple duel. Iruma point of view. I'm standing on the large rocky platform next to Veldora, witnessing the duel between Rimuru and Sabnock from a safe distance. The duel has been going on for a long time, but nobody has won yet. I'm shocked with how ruthlessly Rimuru has been beating Sabnock, who's covered in bruises and blood. Rimuru's surely taking it easy on that boy. I haven't seen him fight with so little power in a long time. I guess he was right. If that's how much I would have had to hold back to duel the boy, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Veldora comments on the battle happening in front of him. Really? Rimuru's hitting Sabnock hard and doesn't seem to be letting up on him at all, I exclaim as I glance back at the fight. Rimuru is continuing to beat Sabnock to a pulp without mercy. Yeah, I don't count that as going easy. The kid's still standing, though, isn't he? He would have been obliterated in one hit if Rimuru was actually trying to kill him, Veldora comments. Yeah, Rimuru is extremely strong from what I've seen, I say, recalling how Rimuru sent Az flying by giving him a flick to the head. You have no idea, boy. Rimuru pretty much never fights with his full power. He doesn't like to. There's no way you've witnessed him going at anywhere close to his full force, Veldora says, shaking his head. Really? When has Rimuru done that? I ask. If Rimuru is reluctant to fight seriously, what could make her choose to abandon that restraint? When he gets truly angry. I've only witnessed it happen a handful of times, and even I, the mighty storm dragon, find it scary when he gets like that, Veldora says, shuddering. I decide not to ask him further about it, since he doesn't look like he wants to talk about it anymore. We continue to watch as Rimuru fights Sabnock. It's a long, painful fight that's concerningly one-sided. It finally ends when Sabnock slumps on the ground, too hurt to continue standing. Despite how hurt he is, I see a huge smile on his face. Rimuru splashes a glowing blue liquid on him and helps him stand back up. Sabnock's many wounds disappear before our eyes after the liquid is applied. Now, you better remember what I taught you. Yes, teacher, Sabnock responds with enthusiasm. Yeah, don't call me that. At least around others. It'll cause me problems, Rimuru says nervously. I shall continue to call you my rival in public then, teacher. Sure, whatever. See you in class. Yes, I will see you tomorrow, Rimuru, Sabnock says before unfurling his wings and flying off. What was that about, Rimuru? I ask, wondering why she got called teacher. I taught him a few things I learned about fighting. Now he wants to call me teacher for some reason, Rimuru says with a shrug. You're too soft when it comes to children, Rimuru. Veldora scolds her playfully as he slaps Rimuru on the back. Rimuru just chuckles in response to his criticism. Too soft? You call that too soft? He nearly died. You think? I couldn't help but feel some pity for him since he had no idea what he was doing in the fight. Giving a few pointers should help him improve if he sticks to them, she explains. I hope the boy appreciated what you gave him, Veldora says with a chuckle. I think he will. Now that I've taken care of that little problem, we should head home now. It's almost pitch black out here. Is your host okay with me staying? Veldora asks. Yeah, I asked him earlier. He has a guest room prepared for you. Thanks, Rimuru. You're always so good about being prepared ahead of time. Not really, but okay, Rimuru responds, looking uncomfortable. The three of us begin to trek to the mansion. And that concludes Chapter 15 of Rimuru and Iruma's Adventures in the Netherworld. This is my first time recording in the year of 2025. And I'm recording, started recording at like 9 o'clock tonight, the night before it's supposed to go up. It's gonna go up tomorrow. Yeah, I got really sucked into reading Danny Phantom crossover with DC fanfics and might have let it consume my life for almost a month. And then lost motivation to want to actually do anything productive in any sense of the word, including these videos. The only thing that got me to record this is the knowledge that if I'm going to stick to my schedule, it's supposed to go up tomorrow at 8. So, I finally wrangled, if my tongue will work, finally wrangled myself to come over here and record. And then I gotta edit it too before going to bed. But either way, you'll be getting your episode tomorrow. And hopefully I can wrangle myself to work on the other series that I've got all the episodes recorded. I just need to finish editing them. Yeah, there's a surprise there. It was supposed to come out on Christmas and then on New Year's, but I underestimated how much time it would take for me to edit it, and also did not factor in my loss of motivation. So, anyways, I'm rambling. I hope everyone's New Year's are going well, and I will see you again on Saturday. Bye-bye.